Yeah, let's get into losers. I don't have much to say here because, well, this team lost the trade deadline in my mind. And, well, they lost because they didn't do anything. And that's the New York Islanders. This team is a team that, over the last 5 years, they have this identity of all we need is a chance. Just get us in the playoffs, and who knows, we'll go to the Stanley Cup final maybe. We can make a big push. It's because of our system. It's because of our identity. Well, they're in a position right now where they are tied in points for the 2 wildcard spots with Tampa and Detroit. And they are 2 points back from a divisional spot from the Philadelphia Flyers, who were semi-sellers at the trade deadline. And we're all expecting a slip-off. So aren't the Islanders licking their lips to get into that divisional spot and make the playoffs and go on some sort of push because of the way they play hockey? Well, no, they made absolutely no deals, 0 deals at the trade deadline. They actually haven't made one in 2024. So this team is sitting back and doing nothing and just letting the hockey gods decide what happens to them. I don't know, maybe they didn't make any trades because they have no cap, because they give out cap and term like candy. But to me, doing nothing makes them a loser. And Detroit, I'm looking at you too.
I'm looking at LA. That's another team who did absolutely nothing when everyone around them in that division is loading up like crazy. But on the Islanders, I just pulled up the post here because I had to remember I was remembering correctly. I had to make sure I was remembering correctly. Lou Lamoriello has gone 4 consecutive trade deadlines without making a trade. Guys, 4 in a row? Really? 4 straight deadline days. No deals. Like, that's, what are you doing? You're in a playoff race. You're a couple points back, like Case said. The Flyers aren't in a good position. It makes absolutely no sense. So I agree with you, Case.
In this season, he has traded Durando for Tice Thompson and a 7th round pick for Bertuzzo. That's the whole season.
Yeah. And last year, prior to the deadline, he got Engvall from the Leafs for a 3rd round pick, I think. So it's like, I don't know, man. What's the plan there? Is this team good enough? I mean, they might be good enough to get in, but if you get in and get walked in the first round, like, what's the point?
I mean, in fairness, Bo Horvat last year too, but that was true in January. But yeah, I hear you. It's like doing nothing at the deadline when you're a team that, like, there's so much opportunity. You can say that Detroit is, they're in a spot and they're looking at the Atlantic, which is going to be harder for entry, but 74-point Philadelphia Flyers, who sold at the deadline, sold Sean Walker and made a couple other small moves to improve themselves, but realistically, in the end, net out, sold at the deadline. Yeah, that's who they're trying to catch. To not only not get a wild card spot and avoid a Florida Panthers or a Boston Bruins. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, you get into a wild card spot, you're playing Florida, who loaded up, or maybe Boston, who added some depth, or the Rangers, or Carolina, who added the biggest fish at the deadline. Like, so, like, you're playing teams who are already better than you, who got even better on deadline day. Like, what's the plan? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
So I'm in total agreement with you here, Case. Teams who did nothing, absolute losers. And I won't hear the argument where it's like, oh, it's tough to get deals done in the NHL, because we hear that we hear that argument said all year long. And then all of a sudden, the week leading up to the deadline, there's like 1,000 deals made. So it's like, I get that it's tough to make deals. You want to wait as long as you can so that you have the most cap space. But if you did nothing at the deadline, even though it's hard to make deals, you're still a loser in my mind. So the Islanders fit into that. LA fits into that. Some other teams as well.
Yeah, no, totally agree with that. Like I said a while ago, boys, with Lamoriello and the Islanders, it's like Oprah. It's like, except cars, it's 7-year deals.
Yeah,
you get one. Like, it's just, I don't get
for
it.
Bottom 6 players.
But I mean, they are going pretty well right now. That's the one caveat to all this. Like, they may end up getting in, and they are going pretty well right now. So
yeah,
they have Sorokin.
I get they're doing well, but it's like you're just letting fate decide. Why not make the move? Like, do something, because who knows? They get into the playoffs, and this team is just, their system works in the playoffs, and they have a goalie who can steal it. So,
yeah. And the thing is, it's like, yes, this team is built. I mean, like, depending how you want to look at it, this team is quote unquote built for the playoffs, right? Like, this team traditionally defends well, is good in low scoring games, has a great goalie, whatever. This year, we've looked at the numbers. We've already talked about this. Like, the system isn't working as well. They give up a ton of chances against, don't generate that much for, and it's uncharacteristic of what this team really is, but then they're just getting bailed out by their goaltender. So it's like, all of a sudden, for the first time in a while, there's a glaring need on this team, and it's players who are more committed to team defense, not giving up chances against, and they didn't do anything to address that. So I don't know, man. Like, obviously adding at the deadline isn't going to guarantee that you win anything. We've seen that for years with so many teams who add so much and then get burned for it. But you at least think that you give yourself a better opportunity to advance, a higher percentage to do some damage. But they didn't even do that. So
I understand these guys are professionals and they really shouldn't be thinking this way. But are you not sitting in that dressing room going, hello?
Yeah. Come on.
Do you not think we can do this?
Seriously.